As you all know, Disney and Lucasfilm are really brewing things up for the future of the Star Wars universe, with of course the introduction of the Book of Boba Fett dropping this December. We of course have the Bad Batch Season 2 coming out in 2022, and let's not forget about Star Wars Kenobi and the Mandalorian Season 3, plus the Ahsoka Tano show. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, if you guys would like to go ahead and check me out at Mike01 on Twitter, you guys can go ahead and do so if you would like to. Now, it's a very interesting development, so to speak, because we have John and Dave really having a lot to do with the development of this new EU and exactly what they're trying to bring back to life. Their main mission right now is to pretty much reunite the Star Wars fandom and to also bring back a majority of Star Wars legends back from the 1990s and the early 2000s, which of course, a lot of which George Lucas had confirmed, or should I say, actually allowed to happen back then to actually be a thing. So they want to make that a thing now. They want to bring back legends. They want to tie it directly in to the existing Disney canon, which can be tricky, I will admit, but they're going to do it in a very respectful manner to the Star Wars fandom, in a familiar sense, if you will. So, with that being said, on top of all of this, there's been a lot of things happening over behind the scenes at Lucasfilm between Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland and John Favreau and Dave Filoni. They're all working on different projects at the same exact time. Now, Kathy Kennedy is still very much involved with the Acolyte TV show, which I've said this time and time again. I don't believe that's going to be a success. I don't really see it going anywhere to the point where it's going to be pretty much praised in any way, shape, or form. But I digress. What really does interest me has all to do with actress Daisy Ridley, and what she was able to unveil that is actually a significant development when it comes to herself as an actress. So, with that being said, with Disney and Lucasfilm focused on their new Star Wars projects like Star Wars Ahsoka and even the Book of Boba Fett, they are very engaged in developing the Mandalorian Season 3 as well, that will take Star Wars in a different direction. However, it's described that behind the scenes, actress Daisy Ridley is said to be in a problematic situation with Lucasfilm for the future of Star Wars. We've talked about this before a couple of weeks ago. It's noted that recently Ridley was involved in an interview about her experience on the set of the sequel trilogy and her time with Lucasfilm, to where she was questioned about what she thinks about the new projects. Ridley goes on to reveal that I personally love what they are doing with the new installments. It's like watching everything happening now as a fan instead of the performer. Ridley went on to unveil that I was surprisingly originally attached to a Star Wars TV series for Disney Plus that was well into development some time ago, that was going to focus on the events after Episode 9, that would actually bring back beloved characters like Finn, Poe, and Rey in their new adventures. However, Daisy went on to state and reveal that there were a drastic change of plans for myself for that series, where Kathleen Kennedy decided to focus more on the character of Finn and Poe at the time, and to depart the character of Rey from the series, and I was essentially cancelled and let go from that series that was well into development at the time. Daisy was actually questioned if the project is still in development, to where Daisy replied, "Oh, I don't think I can really say anything about that," as she laughs. Daisy also makes it clear that though my role was going to be much smaller than how I was in the sequel movies, we would have seen a different take on Rey that I believe the fans would have respected. Ridley also unveils that I personally wanted to stay on the project at the time, as I loved working with John and Oscar. Those two are actually so great and charismatic on set, they just light up a room and they always just made my day even during hard times. I was actually sad to have been let go from the series, even though at the time I was sort of wanting to move on to other things, you know? Daisy was questioned also on if she would be involved in other, currently unknown projects. Daisy laughs, saying, "You never say never, but no games really. I have had conversations about minor uses of my character in some projects, so I can't really say much about that, but maybe some fans will be very happy in the not too distant future." I know John and Dave are very fun to work with, since they are actual Star Wars experts at heart, so I would love to experience that feeling with them that I sure would be a different experience than during my time with the sequel trilogy movies by JJ and Ryan. Now, I want to go over this development that's very crucial to kind of noticing this very unrecognizable pattern by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, you would think that Kathleen Kennedy would have wanted Daisy Ridley to stay on the project and would have wanted to keep Rey as the centerpiece of that show. Now, we talked about this Finn TV series that's apparently in development with John Boyega being attached. Obviously, a lot of fans out there have been very much, critical over the sequel trilogy. A lot of fans had issues with the sequel trilogy movies, and when you think about it that way, I think it's best to depart from the sequel trilogy characters if a majority of fans have issues with them. That's just my take on things. It's better off to focus on what is heavily beloved by the hardcore fans, the ones that stuck around with Star Wars through thick and thin over the years. That's the way to go about doing it, in my opinion. Or introducing new characters that are very well written. That's the best way to really go about approaching things here. So this particular project that Daisy was canceled from was going to involve Finn, Poe, and Rey on new adventures. And it's funny because Kathleen Kennedy low-key actually confirmed this about, I would say, 2 years ago. You guys may recall in the early times when they were actually beginning to announce more and more TV shows and their plans about Star Wars transitioning over to the streaming service. She actually got on subject saying, we are going to see more adventures of Rey, Poe, and Finn. So that most likely alluded to this particular project that involved Daisy, John, and Oscar, that has now apparently been reduced to just Oscar and John. And who knows if that project is even still in development. Like I said, apparently there's a Finn TV show in the works. There's really next to no information on that actual project. We really don't know anything about it. But apparently John Boyega is in the talks to reprise his role as Finn. Personally, I don't think it's really the best way to go about doing things. If you want to focus on a story that maybe throws Finn into that story, that's fine. But a TV show just for Finn, I'm just not quite sure how that's going to settle with sequel trilogy fans, or sequel trilogy, haters, if you will. People that have problems with the overall trilogy by J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. So the other thing is this, that I think is very, very important, is that Daisy Ridley kind of joked around about her return to Star Wars. Now, we've gone over this before a couple of weeks ago, that she is actually going to be very much involved in a cameo scene, a pure cameo scene, in a currently untitled, unannounced, post-Episode 9 live-action Star Wars TV series. By the way, completely separate from that apparent Finn TV show that's going to take place some years after Episode 9. Putting her in there as a cameo, very similar to a Luke Skywalker type of scenario in The Mandalorian Season 2. So far, that's all what Daisy Ridley is involved with when it comes to Star Wars, and she low-key kind of really teased it there, saying that she has been in the talks about minor uses of her character and how she really can't say much about that, and that she really does hope that fans will be satisfied in the near future. So, like I said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.